every day, like when I was stuck in my room, I'd go ahead and fly off to God knows what kind of planets. I'm sharing a poignant memory here, and here's the cat. Salutations and hello, all you fellow rogues and travelers and artists. Welcome, welcome. You've reached a Wash of Static. I'm your host, Gerodius Thane, and welcome to the 1 year anniversary of a Wash of Static, albeit a more somber one than what we ever could have hoped for or imagined. As the thumbnail and what you saw the first 35 seconds perhaps alludes to, Nutmeg the Torbie Cat has passed away. A little bit about Nutmeg the Torbie Cat. I first encountered her in 2017. She had been from some home in Oregon and was a rescue, in fact. Two friends of mine who I was living with had contacts, and they mentioned that there was this cat who was unusually vocal that really needed a home. As my friends tend to do, they stepped in. I was living with them, and that same cat and I became very fast friends. Eventually, I would leave to my own apartment, which is right here, and they asked me to go ahead and take a Nutmeg in. Nutmeg herself told me flat out, frankly, I don't think you can do it without me if you want to be a YouTuber, without my editing skills. And so she became a member of the household as soon as I was here. You folks may have noticed that I have not been very active on this channel, and that is simply because Nutmeg's health condition became top priority, along with working very, very quickly. Nutmeg had what was called adenocarcinoma, and it is a malignant cancer. Malignant is always bad, but in this case it was aggressive, extremely aggressive. Quite literally, what we were seeing was her condition deteriorating night by night. By mid-November, we realized that our cat was in very serious trouble. By early December, although we had an oncology appointment set up for December 9th, we realized that we may have a decision to come to before then. That did come to pass. After a very frank discussion with the veterinarian that we had at the veterinarian clinic that we go to, wonderful guy by the name of Spencer, who you can tell is very much in this for the right things. Being a veterinarian, he cared only for the well-being of animals. Absolutely the right thing to do. He had a very frank discussion with me, including I asked him point blank, would you even wait for the oncology appointment? And he told me no. The writing was essentially on the wall for Nutmeg. The cancer that she had was just way too aggressive. So on the 4th of this month, and as I record this is December 10th, the 1 year anniversary, of course, of A Wash of Static. December 4th, my partner and I decided that we had to end Nutmeg's suffering. The suffering she was going through was obvious, external, and she wasn't living the kind of cat life that should happen. The cancer was just growing day by day on a level that I've never seen before. I have lost cats before in a myriad of ways, but I had never seen cancer take a pet quite this fast. And on the 4th of December, we realized it was a matter of days. I think I'm going to let that go. Timing is a strange universal anachronism. Oddly appropriate in this case. It was quick and it was painless. The very last thing that Nutmeg saw was my partner and I. And the very last thing she felt was us petting her as she went over the rainbow, or whatever we call it. So she did not suffer. It was a very tough call. I like to think that I've made some tough calls in my lifetime, but nothing quite like that. She was probably at least 15 or 16 years old at the time of her death. We settled on 13 and a half with the idea that she was probably a bit older just due to her dental problems. And we never really got her medical records from the life that she had before, although it was pretty clear that someone had taken care of her before. The only thing that really matters now to say is that we are going to miss our beloved little furry editor. We're going to really miss her being around. This particular apartment is it's been so empty for the last week. We go on, of course. Well, with her gone, life just changes a little bit. I'm going to leave you now with the very best clips that we ever collected of Nutmeg as she wrapped herself around me and made herself a part of these episodes and injected herself into and made herself a vital part of the, up to this point, life of a wash of static. This may be a record for the shortest wash of static episode ever, and it may have held that for a long time. But all I can say also is that if you have pets that you love, spend as much time as you can with them, because they can be gone in a heartbeat. It's almost a week later and I'm still just aghast at how fast it was. How quickly it was so clear that the cancer was going to win. Her last 2 weeks were me hoping for the best case scenario and realizing that it wasn't going to happen. She was hanging out in her letterbox, not socializing with us. And that's no kind of life for a cat to live. Many of you, in fact, have actually probably come to this channel from having seen Nutmeg. And, well, I can say that we're going to miss her here. And now, without further ado, here's the very best of the clips I've collected. This has been A Wash of Static. Until the next episode. Some people can never get rid of their editor. Mine finds my lap. Obligatory cat sighting. Am I overreacting? I found his Reddit and now I don't know if I want to be with him anymore. I know the whole don't go digging because you'll find something you don't want to see, but I dug and I found his Reddit. I went digging through his comments too and just found a lot of sexual comments he made on other women's posts. Made my stomach churn, my heart broke, and I feel sick. I can't even imagine what the chats or messages or his following is like on his actual Reddit account, and my mind is on overdrive. Would I be overreacting if I leave him over this? It's basically cheating, and now I'm constantly comparing myself to those women. I just can't see him in the same light anymore. It's like he's a whole different guy at this point. She does this all the time, folks. That RBF is forever. Got the cat. Got the drink. Salutations and hello. You have reached A Wash of Static and Nutmeg The Torbie Cat. I knew Donald J. Trump was eventually going to make it onto this thing as I'm talking about stupid things said. But Butler, Pennsylvania, over 100,000 people. Really? Pennsylvania. I've been to Pennsylvania. Butler, Pennsylvania does not have 100,000 people. As a matter of fact, I looked it up. They have 13,500.